We just saw the Justice League, and on this show I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it here in the car and have a discussion. The review video is spoiler free, so if you're on the fence or looking for a recommendation, you can watch this video just to find out what we thought. And if you'd like to see more, including spoilers, you can watch the other half of the review, which is our Justice League movie discussion with spoilers video. So, this is the latest DC superhero movie. It's the Justice League, really the first movie with Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg in it. And I know a lot about the production of this movie. I don't know a lot about the backstory. I don't know much about DC characters in general. I don't read comic books in general. What I will say is this movie did not hurt me the way that Batman vs. Superman hurt me. And that movie burned me out on DC for a while. I didn't end up seeing Suicide Squad at all. I eventually saw Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman for what it was fine. This movie for what it is fine. I think, I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's the movie that puts DC back on track, because it's not quite. It doesn't really elevate itself beyond that. But there are some positives to it. It has a little bit of a sense of humor, which is good. The mandate that the movie be under 2 hours was a good call. They can always release an extended cut later for people that want more detail and more information on it. I felt like, as a non-comic reader, as someone that didn't know any of these characters or any of their backstories, that it did a fairly good job of introducing the new characters, giving us a story, all of that sort of thing. And like I said, in general, it didn't hurt me to watch it. It didn't have the branding ridiculousness that Man of Steel had. It didn't have the overall gloopy, nasty awfulness that Batman v Superman was to watch. The only real, come on, why did you have to do this again thing was the villain in the final battle takes place in a red-skied CG fake world almost looking place. It's not nearly as bad as it looks like it's going to be when that final part starts, but it's still, there's a lot of it that you just sit there going, speaking of the bad guy's a completely CG character, and he didn't need to be, and it's kind of immersion breaking that he is. It's just sort of, why did we do it like this? We didn't have to do it like this. But I would say in general, if you're a fan of DC and you're excited about the Justice League, if our audience was anything to go by, they loved it. They were in thrall. But they didn't love it. They liked it. And there were people that got references that I didn't get that were happy about them. But it is such a more watchable movie than the previous ones have been. And it's also, at the same time, very disposable. I will forget everything that happened in this movie within a week. It's just not, there's nothing that really sticks to you. It's kind of a, not necessarily cliched, but just not very compelling. Lots of indestructible characters doing indestructible things. So, it was okay. What do you think?
So just out of the gate, it wasn't a good movie. But it wasn't terrible. There are movies that came before Batman vs. Superman, and there are movies that came after Batman vs. Superman. And that one kind of ruined everything And this was such a marked improvement over it that you couldn't help but enjoy it. It was fun. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It's not something that I'm going to be like, oh my God, you have to go see this. But if you pop it in and you watch it, you'll enjoy it. I hate over-reliance on CGI, and this movie had that. The completely CGI villain bothered me the entire time. The completely CGI, well, almost completely CGI'd cyborg bothered me almost the entire time. Outside of that, though, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. If you like superhero movies and you specifically like these characters, this movie does about as close to right by them as you're gonna get.
Yeah. I kept thinking to myself, like, this is a pretty good movie for DC to be making. And then I was also thinking to myself, if Marvel made this movie, it would be considered a bad Marvel movie.
It would, and you know, what we were talking about with Steppenwolf in this movie, I worry about with Thanos, because he's going to be completely CGI'd. Or at least he looks it so far. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but you're right. This still would be considered the worst Marvel movie.
Yeah, Steppenwolf came off more like something from that Warcraft movie. That's what he looked like to me, was one of those creatures, which, like, it's really good CGI, but it's still obviously CGI. Like, it goes into video game mode for his scene. So, but yeah, I'm not trying to hate on DC. I think they're making steps in the right direction. And this was the best effort that they've made since probably the Nolan movies, if not counting Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman was also just fine. I think there's a lot of people that overpraise that movie for being A, Wonder Woman, and B, not a terrible DC movie, but I don't think that's not like what Iron Man was.
I think it was supposed Batman versus Superman bump. Like, oh my God, at least it wasn't Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and it wasn't Suicide Squad.
Like, I liked Wonder Woman. I was one of the people raving about it afterwards. Going back and watching it, it was good, but it's still not. They're still not up to the level with Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a very disposable movie. Like, it's very cookie cutter, and
I think they need to wipe out this gritty universe and go to something a little bit more lighthearted. I know DC doesn't really do lighthearted in the comics, but
yeah, and I wouldn't mind more of these Justice League movies. I don't know that I really care enough to see. I mean, I'm sure they're going to try and make standalone movies again for some of these characters, but I honestly don't really need a Ben Affleck Batman movie standalone. I don't.
That's the next one on the docket.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I'd be fine with them just kind of plugging away with Justice League and having a little bit better story next time, a little bit better villain, and but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not going to knock your socks off, but it's a satisfying popcorn movie that you may or may not remember for very long. So that's our review. If you like what we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at DaleMaxfield.com. Stick around, check out the discussion video, and thanks for watching.